What's going on, everyone? Baku96 here, bringing in the second deck of my upcoming Rarity TCG gameplay series. Not only is this an update of my mono Pyrus Dragonoid deck, but this deck also is going to be going face-to-face with my previously reviewed mono elemental darkus. Hopefully that game will be awesome. I plan on it being a best 2 out of 3 match, and it will be uploaded sometime Monday. As for today, however, let's go ahead and just get straight into it. Like I said in my last deck profile video, I do use these little inserts from the new Bakugans just because it's a good way for me to keep track of what I'm filming, what I'm recording, the games that I have to play coming up, that sort of thing. As far as content creation, it just keeps me organized. So I'm really glad they came in the tins. You get 2 of these little inserts. And they're a lot more handy than people give them credit for. Pretty awesome. But with that out of the way, go ahead and get the team here. And then face down nano card, which, again, I keep forgetting to grab the nanogon because they're not used in the TCG. As if that's an excuse, right? I don't even remember which. Okay. Don't even know what I'm doing, see? Terrible. Horrible. Doing a deck profile review and I don't even have everything out. Epic, right? Okay, I think that's everything. So, going ahead and starting off with the team. Obviously, if I can grab the cards. First up is Platinum Dragonoid, Helix and Green Fist Core, B power of 500 with 1 damage. And in mono Pyrus, it's going to be really hard, but if he lands, or if he has a Helix Core and Green Fist Core attached, plus 1000 B power. So yeah, really cool, really awesome Bakugan. It is Dragonoid after all. And Diamond, it's the whole reason why I'm doing this deck is because I did find the Platinum Diamond Dragonoid. Really awesome. The Ultra I'm using is from Geogun Rising. So it is a Flame Fist and a Green Fist Core. B power of 1000 with 2 damage. Obviously with the Platinum Dragonoid being a little weaker, I thought it would help to have the bigger Dragonoid on the team. And then lastly, it is Geoforged Dragonoid. So this Bakugan has a Flaming Fist and Magic Shield Core. B power of 900 with 1 damage. And then on a Flaming Fist, plus 5 more damage. Really cool. Really awesome that you can have a team of just one faction Bakugan now. But because of the name rule, Dragonoid, you can get now Nelius, I believe, Sharktar, any Bakugan that has a Platinum version, an Ultra version, or a special core version, or in the case of Geoforged Dragonoid, its version. But yeah, 3 Bakugan if they're the same, but they have different card names, you can run them. And that was the whole point of this deck. So I have done a Mono Dragonoid deck before, but this one is for evolutions. It's evolutions themed. And I thought it would be cool to update it and revisit it after all the new cards I pulled. Trying to think if there was one other thing I wanted to say right quick before I get into it, but I don't think so. So I don't want to drag out the video too much. Go ahead and review the Bakugan. Or the cores. Ugh, I'm so confused. Okay, so core lineup. For the Helix Core, plus 300 B power, plus 3 damage. I didn't want to lose anything. I didn't want to minus B power for damage, and I didn't want to minus damage for B power, so that's why I run that one. The 2 Green Fists of the deck, again, just like the darkest one. I didn't know what I wanted to play, but I wanted to play the strongest one possible for the deck. So 2 Green Fists, plus 150 B power, and plus 2 damage. The Red Fist, the same way, I wanted as much power as possible without losing anything. And because Platinum Dragonoid is a little weaker, rather than use the plus 6 damage Flaming Fist, I am using the plus 250 B power and plus 3 damage core. Just in case the B power comes up, I don't know if it will, but it might. And in the situation that it does, I will be thankful I have it. Lastly, the Magic Shield Core, plus 650 B power. Everyone saw that coming. Now then, actually reviewing the game pieces. Here is the Elemental Dragonoid Ultra. by now an epic classic. Only a year old though, so not as classic as some of the Battle Planet diamonds, I suppose. Shout out to Chicken Master, another Baku tuber. I do believe he just got the Battle Planet Diamond Dragonoid, which is epic. But here is the Platinum Diamond Dragonoid from Evolutions. Just like the Nilius, I won't spend a lot of time reviewing it because I do have an unboxing video dedicated to that specifically. And then the first Bakugan of the reboot to include diecast metal, of course, it is the Pyrus Dragonoid. Very cool, a lot of metal. Would have been epic to have that metal painted, like the Dragonoid, but they couldn't give away too much spoilers for what they had in plan, you know, Spin Master. They didn't want to give everything away right away. But there is the Geogun Titan King. I am only using one in this particular deck. We'll get into that later, why I do that. Lastly, before the main meat of the profile, is the Nanogon. Just like Darkus, I don't have a lot of Nanogon that really work with the team so much, so I'm only using one Nanogon per deck right now. That will change in the future, because I do want to run the max you can, which is 3, in the side deck. But for now, just one. And just folding out Nano here. Can't get the, there we go. There is Nano Widow. So Nano Widow on Green Fist plus 300 B power, on Red and Green Fist plus 500. So just like Nano Siphon, little B power bumps, mid game, early game, late game, you know, that kind of deal. Moving on to the deck profile, the good stuff. Move those out of the way. So, one of, Quick Fire, 0 energy to make a Pyrus attack for 1 damage, and you may reroll your Bakugan. This is an epic card. There's no reason why 3 shouldn't be here, other than the fact that I only have the 1. But, epic card. I'll let you all know right now, this is a damage strategy deck. So there are a lot of one-ofs that just add damage. And because, you know, I pulled a lot of one-ofs that give damage, which is funny. But anyway, Fireball, 1 energy for plus 3 damage. Fire Floor, 1 energy for plus 2 damage, and you get to scan. Another new card, which I'm very happy about, is Inferno. 1 energy, but it gives you plus 2 damage for each Pyrus on your team. That's a whopping plus 6 damage for 1. I mean, yeah, that enough said right there. Rack of Fury, 1 energy for plus 3 damage and you get to scan. So, clearly better than Fire Floor. It's just I only have 1 of these cards, so that's why I have to throw them all in. And I'm hoping that damage stacks in the game and it's really cool. It makes like for really cool turns. But anyway, 2 Ray of Pyrus. 1 energy for plus 3, and then of course Stoke. If when you play the card, if you pay an additional 2 energy, you gain the effect a second time. So for 1 energy you get 3, or for 3 energy you get plus 6. Pretty good. Following that is 2 Sifting Ashes, 1 energy to draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards. This deck has no card draw outside of these 2 cards, so very important if you're having a hard time drawing into what you need. One of the best cards of the deck, and I'm so happy to finally have 2 of this, is Hot Potato. So for 2 energy, you get to remove an enemy Bakugan's Baku-core and negate its effect. You return the Baku-core onto the field face down. What an epic card, especially to have this year with the new Nanogon mechanic. You can really mess up your opponent. And I thought it was kind of cool. You know, with the Darkus deck, you know, my Elemental Darkus deck, its whole sub-strategy is to mess with the opponent's hand, you know, make them discard cards, obviously. Pyrus leaned more heavily on the sub-theme of messing with your opponent's Baku-core and removing them. So even though both decks don't really have a whole lot of cards for their sub-themes, I thought it might make for interesting gameplay at the least. But that's not important now. What's important now is the actual deck profile. So next up, 2, Might of Cindius, an equally important card of the deck. For 2 energy, you get +1 damage, but that's not the good part. The good part of this card reads next. This turn, the victor is decided by highest damage instead of B power. So, I know what you're all thinking. How? Right, with 1 damage, 2 damage, and then another 1 damage. How? Well, I mean, the deck is damage. You want to rely on the deck giving you that damage number, not necessarily your Bakugan's base damage rating. So, very important the cards you play, how you combo them, what turn you play them. But I promise that when you stack the damage, you're going to win. So, 2 Pyrus Spike, 2 energy for +4 damage. Then you get to draw a card, then discard a card. So you do have more card draw outside of the Sifting Ashes, but this is kind of locked onto a card that you may or may not play, and that's why I don't necessarily consider it card draw, even though you could go 1 for 1. Or -1 because you have to play that, but you all know what I'm trying to say. Another one of is Pyrus Strike, so this one is 2 energy for +3 damage. If Pyrus, though, it is +6. There's really no downside to playing this card in the deck. It is another card that I would probably run more of if I had it. Impact Laser, a new card for my collection, anyway. Recently unpacked, I guess you would say, or opened. But 3 energy for +7, just helps with that damage rating. Kind of a weird card for this deck because everything is such a low energy cost, but I do have 3 Song of Fire, so for 3 energy you get 5 energy, and the whole point behind this card in the deck is that later on in the game, since all of your cards are kind of 3 energy and below, the big cards, you kind of just play a whole bunch of those in a turn off of that 5 energy, and then you drop like a Might of Cindius or a Mac Hero, and win with that absurd amount of damage that way. Next up is Talon Slash, 3 energy for +4, and then if the Bakugan's damage becomes 10 or greater, it may or may not happen, you get to draw a card. So, once again, just another situational card draw, but more importantly, it is damage, damage, damage. And with that is Volatile Instincts, 2 of for 3 energy, another +6 damage card. You can energize, if you energize this from your hand, you can pay 2 to draw 1. That doesn't come up, not at least in any of my games. You really just want that +6. The star hero of the deck, and I swear, if I ever find any more, they are going in it. Mac is a hero card for 4 energy. The turn you play this, the victor is decided by highest damage instead of B power, which is just killer. It is a Might of Cindius on top of a hero card. You do only get that once. It would have been absurd if that effect stayed around like the whole game. But as far as effects that stay on the field the whole while, your Bakugan do get +2 damage off of this hero. It's really good, but not as impactful as the actual turn you play it. Hard to beat that, but after that is Nuclear Pummel, 4 energy for +10 damage. Again, messing with the opponent's Baku-core, 2 Pyrus Overload, 4 energy for +500 B power, but you do get to remove all Baku-cores attached to a Bakugan and place them onto the field. So, again, messing with the opponent's strategies, messing with the opponent's Baku-core just comes in handy. A new hero of the deck is E, so for 5 energy, when you open a Bakugan, +3 energy for the turn. So, kind of a weird turbo strategy in Pyrus. I haven't really had a chance to playtest this deck, so I don't know how it's going to work, but in theory, that +3 energy is just going to let you play a lot more of your lower cost cards. Earlier on in the game, you just keep stacking multiple cards in a turn, rather than play 1 or 2 cards when you can. Moving on though, the first Evo card is of course the Diamond Platinum Dragonoid. I spoke about this in the unboxing. Crazy effect, I don't even know why they did this, but for 3 energy, you get a B power of 900 with 2 damage, But then on Helix and Green Fist, which I know that's not exactly going to be easy to accomplish, but if you do accomplish that while the Evo is equipped, instead of the, well, I always forget, instead of the plus 1000 B power, you get plus 2000 damage. I know that's kind of cheese because of, flip cards and stopping damage. It's not like that 2000 is ever going to go straight through. But, OTK wise, I mean, if there's a way to stop an opponent's flip cards and just guarantee it goes through, it could be like a troll win. But yeah, really, really cool. I like the Evo card. For 3 energy, it at least bumps up Platinum Dragonoid to a stronger B power. That's more acceptable, and really cool artwork at that. Onto the diamond for the Dragonoid Ultra. So for the elemental, 6 energy for a B power of 2000 with 7 damage. Again, absurd B power if you play it. I mean, you got the game after that, hopefully. But Victor, so on the win, you get to scan and draw one. Again, pseudo card draw, sort of iffy if you get to play it. If not, use it as energy and spam damage cards. And now, because I did have those Evo cards, I didn't want to commit too heavily to Geogun, which is why I only have the one Pyrus Titan King. And here is his stats. I use this Geogun a lot in Pyrus decks, probably more than any of my others because I like it. Just 6 energy for a B power of 2300. 4 damage, and then on a Flaming Fist it gets plus 6 damage, which is really nice. And then it also has the Victor team attack as well, which is really good on Geogun. Even in my gameplay videos, the Geogun that have that Victor team attack, it does matter. So, just putting that out there. Moving on to the last part of the deck profile, so the flips. I'm running 2 Constrictor, so 1 energy to block a Bakugan holding a Green Fist or Helix. Those cores are on the team, so again, want to punish the opponent for landing on your own cores. Just for coverage, Swift Flame, 1 energy to block a Darkus or Chaos Bakugan. In here, just like the the faction flip cards in my Darkus Elemental deck, just for this particular series are they in there, but later on in the future I might change those flip cards into different cards. Then block Outsiders, 3 energy to block non-Pyrus. 2 Burning Cloud, so for 4 energy you get to block a non-fusion Bakugan, and if you do, you make a Pyrus attack for 2 damage. So just a really cool way to get in some free damage there. After that is Fierce Termination, sorry, English sucks I guess, I don't know why, but for 4 energy, you get to block non-Pyrus, and then Fury. If you have no cards in your hand, this is free. Never gonna happen, but 4 for a block Outsiders. I mean, it's just a worse block Outsiders. And then lastly is Pyrus Dominance. So 5 energy to block non-Pyrus and destroy an energy card. So that is it for this deck profile. Brawlers, I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below. Would you change anything? Would you fix anything? How would you go about this deck profile? And before you leave, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss the upcoming unboxings I have for the channel, the upcoming gameplay, and deck profiles. I plan on this Rarity series, if you will, being a lot longer than just these 2 deck profiles, but it's just the first batch, and I'm kind of doing everything as I go. But yeah, so just wanted to say that real quick. Again, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great day. Stay safe, brawlers, and remember to drum up, keep on brawling, and live life to the fullest. Thank you all for the continued support. See you in the next video.